Jen, I don't know what to say. It comes from the heart, and you can hear it in the minute she started talking, and I hope I deserve it, and just keep talking. It made me nervous, so I was very comfortable until in that moment. And, you know, when invitation came from, I think it came from Maya or from Jim, and said Tim Shriver introduced you to, recommended, and Tim is the head of the foundation, organization called Special Olympics, and that I got to know when I was living in Utica, that there was a Special Olympics, New York Olympics game in Utica, and somebody said, do you want to come and see? And when I went there, what I saw, I was so shocked, which it was a total mind shift, that what I was expecting to see and what I did see, that my whole view on intellectual disabilities and all the other stuff, lack of knowledge is completely coming to a different level. And who would have thought, who I was studying at Chobani at the time, living in Utica in a one-bedroom apartment, and not knowing where this world is going to go forward, and I am 6, 7, 8 years later sitting here, connecting all those dots and introduced by this most amazing woman. Jen, thank you so much. But I gotta make one thing clear. I will make Labne one day. Yes. Now, I say that for a selfish reason. Every time I meet someone from Lebanon or from Palestine or from the region, he says, Hamdi, listen to me, listen. Says, I know where it's going. And my grandmother used to make this yogurt, right? I said, yeah. I says, I can't find it anywhere. Labne, you have to make labne. So I used to entertain, of course, everybody is connected to their grandmother and grandfather, and Jim just told me about his yogurt just now. So I'm not kidding. Every time I meet someone from the region, the conversation goes to labne. And I said, you know what? I'm convinced there's got to be something in here. And my promise in here, I am going to make it labne. And somehow connect it to Arab American Institute and Foundation and do something nice with it, going out there. Joking aside, grow up a Kurdish shepherd son, a nomad. I was born in the mountains. I don't really know my exact date of birth is, because my mother said we were coming back from the mountains, and it was somehow beginning of October, somewhere around that area. And that's it. My early childhood is we go up in the mountains with sheep and dogs and horses, shepherds, and we go up, and as the weather gets warmer, you go upper and upper and upper. And there is no police, there's no judge, there is no guns or anything like that. There's culture, there's society, there are elders, there's unwritten rules, there's no money, doesn't mean anything up there, there's no store to buy anything. And you make cheese and yogurt, and at night you look at the stars, you never think that someone will attack you or you're not safe, because the men are taking care of the sheep at night. And in the morning you eat the same thing. You make yogurt, you make cheese, you cook, you share. And then as the weather gets colder, and you go back to home. This is the memories that I travel every single day. And at night we used to listen shepherd stories. That's where our entertainment. And when I came here, from that little town to here, and I settled in upstate New York, and I worked in a farm, in a dairy farm. And what I realized that between that town and this town, there was not many differences. In the farm that I lived in for a year and a half while I was going to learn English, and Greg, your sister, represents my teachers who taught me how to speak English. And if I'm not doing well, it's my fault, it's not theirs. I can't thank enough what you do every day. It is this distance of kilometers and miles, but this closeness is on the human spirit. And that's the minute I felt home. And feeling home is extremely important. Because if you're home, you're going to create something that belongs to you. And it's not easy for someone who comes from miles and hundreds of thousands of miles away and settled in a completely and strange place, doesn't speak the language, doesn't know the culture much, and doesn't know where the years and days are going to be like going forward, and missing a lot that's in the back and worries about it. It's very, very difficult to feel home. And what Upstate did to me is in that nation, in that neighborhood, in those people, they made me feel home. I felt like I was in my little town. And that was a starting time that I started feeling like I can really stay here. I can really do something here. Now, I worked in a farm. A lot of similarities of the cows in upstate New York and the cows back home. It smells the same. So the similarity, you know, the hay and all that stuff, but yet, still, people didn't lock their doors up there in that little town. They didn't lock doors. They left their coffees on. If somebody comes, and if they were not home, at least they can get some cup of coffee. It shocked me. They were leaving eggs and vegetables by the road. They were putting the price, let's say a dozen at $2. They were putting a can in there, and there was nobody else. So you would stop your car, you take the egg or tomato, and you will leave the money, and you'll go. And one time I asked, I said, is that money missing ever? Never. This is the society that I came to see in upstate New York, and that's my tribe when I left from home. When I felt home, I wanted to bring something from home. So we started making cheese and then later on yogurt. But one thing that I always say is what I brought is my mother, my father, my family, what I learned from where we were closer to the stars. But that seed only could grow in a society like this. It's the magic of this country. And not only magic of this country, magic of these small communities, like in Utica, in Norwich, in Johnstown, and where I live, and now in Idaho. Now, I didn't know what I could become because of this country and this society, because of what I brought with myself. This is what I could have done. And I'm excited to do more. I just wonder if we all make others feel home, one way or another. Is a smile, handshake, job, welcoming. In the combination of people feeling home, how this society will shape up, how much more can be done. And today, when we look at the world, who needs the most welcoming? Who needs most shelter, a hot soup, and hope, especially hope today, more than 65 million refugees around the world. It is so bad. I've been going to the camps. I've been visiting families. I've been reading. I've been involved. You go. You look at a little girl's eye who lost a family member, who's in maybe a receiving center in Lesbos, Greece, just past the water, in the fear of the water that they had never seen like this at night. Maybe they just made it to the other side, and they look at your eye for a hope. It's the moment that you feel like you're hopeless. How do you take that and explain somebody else? The suffering and the pain is so big, caused by people from our region. There was no reason for this suffering. There's enough of everything. There's enough food, there is enough land, there is enough everything for them to live. I don't know why people cannot share anything else, but it is what it is. But what we're looking right now, if we don't show what Khalil Gibran taught us, the center of humanity, the hope to these people, I don't know what we're going to live to the children all around the world for the future. We cannot let this suffering go on like this. Nobody asks palaces, jobs that they lost or homes they lost. All they want is future for their kids, a safety for their family, and some place they can be connected and feel home so they can restart again. And I've seen this at Chobani. I've seen hundreds of families by just making yogurt, building life, and being part of the community, and live by what they have seen and what they have gone through, and contributing to the others. Because Khalil Gibran suffered. He suffered, but he channeled it into a love, forgiveness, unity, in humanity everywhere. And that's what I try to do by making yogurt every day. As a son of shepherd from a Kurdish town in east of Turkey, to journey in upstate New York, and honored by this amazing, amazing group of people, where I got to know very soon, very late, but I hope to stay connected forever. My message is, what we carry, where we come from, is pure heart, pure soul. From our grandmothers, from our fathers, from the stars, from stories, from home welcoming, everything that we have. There's nothing more richer than that. And if we can take that, not only here in America, but around the globe, and show the world how welcoming we are and how we can affect everybody else to do the same thing, I think we will have those hopes to come to the right place, and we look at a better world going forward. God bless you all. Thank you so much for this honor, and thank you.